Whether you're brand new to Obsidian or you've been using it for years, I can basically guarantee there are features that you haven't discovered yet that will vastly improve the quality of the experience using the app. So in this video, I'm gonna share some of my favorite quality of life enhancements that can streamline your PKM workflows and boost your note-taking productivity. If you're looking for quick tips to help you get more out of your PKM system, you are in the right place. Each tip I'm gonna cover is its own chapter in the video, so feel free to jump around if you'd like. We're gonna cover 20 quick tips in only 10 minutes, so let's not waste any time, let's dive in. Tip number 1, discover plugin commands and hotkeys with the command palette. The command palette is way more than just a way to execute commands in Obsidian. One of my favorite uses for the command palette is to discover commands that are added when you install new plugins. Just open up the command palette with Command P on Mac or Control P on Windows, and type the name of the plugin you just installed to see what commands are now available to you. Note that the list may differ depending on whether you have an active note or not. And as an added bonus, you can also see what hotkeys are assigned to these commands in the list of commands via the command palette. Tip number 2, automatically update internal links. To create a link in another note in Obsidian, you just need to type the note name inside of double brackets. This will create a bidirectional link between the two notes and allows that connection to be visualized in the graph view. But what if you change the name of the file? That link now no longer works. Fortunately, there is a setting under Files and Links called Automatically Update Internal Links that, when toggled on, will update all the links to the active note if you attempt to rename it inside of Obsidian. Tip number 3, save attachments to a specific folder. Things can get a little bit messy when you drag files and images into your Obsidian Vault. Fortunately, there's a setting under Files and Links called Default Location for new attachments. Toggle this to in the folder specified below, and then select the folder you want to keep your vault clean and tidy. Tip number 4, rename links with the pipe character. Sometimes you want to link to a file, but you don't want the file name to be the text that's displayed on the screen. The way to solve this is to use the pipe character right after the title of the note you want to link to inside of double brackets. This will allow you to set the display text, which can let you take advantage of note connections without making your notes hard to read. Tip number 5, fold headings and indents. Obsidian is a little underrated as an outliner if you ask me, and one of the non-obvious features that can help a lot when you're creating outlines in Obsidian is the ability to fold things like headers and indents. These are actually two separate options inside the editor settings section, but they do the same thing, allow you to fold up sections of your note, making longer notes easier to navigate. Tip number 6, pin the local graph in your sidebar. I'm not a big fan of the normal graph view. It looks cool, but personally, I think it has limited usefulness. But I do love the local graph, and I keep it pinned in the lower right corner of my right sidebar. This displays all the connections either to or from the active note, and it's automatically updated based on the active note. To add this, click the 3 dots in the note title bar, go to Open Linked View, Open Local Graph, and then drag the new Local Graph tab where you want it inside of the Obsidian user interface. Tip number 7, hide unwanted ribbon icons. In addition to adding commands to the command palette, new plugins may also add icons to the ribbon in Obsidian. Most of the time, I don't want new icons to show up here, but fortunately, you can hide the ones you don't want to see. Go to the Appearance settings and then select the Ribbon Menu Configuration option to rearrange your ribbon icons and hide any you don't want to see. Tip number 8, use multiple cursors when editing text. A lot of the more powerful text editors have the ability to use multiple cursors, and Obsidian does as well. Just hold the Option key on Mac or the Alt key on Windows and click somewhere else in your active note to place an additional cursor there. Whatever you then type as text will show up in multiple places at once. Tip number 9, use Autocomplete when adding links or tags. Links and tags can get messy if you mistype them. Fortunately, it's easy to select the one you want because Obsidian has an autocomplete feature that allows you to select any of the existing options from a drop-down list. Doing this will eliminate messy duplicates and make sure that your tags and links are accurate. Tip number 10, nest your tags. Speaking of tags, one non-obvious feature in Obsidian is that you can actually nest your tags inside one another. For example, I have a journal tag, and then I have sub-tags for the different types of journal entries that I captured to my daily note. Check out my last video here on how I use Quick Add to add things to the appropriate section in my daily note, but this allows me to see all my journal entries and also just a particular type of entry and makes it easier to navigate the tags pane. Tip number 11, use aliases to discover new link connections. You can use the backlinks view to see all of the unlinked mentions of the active note titled throughout your Obsidian vault. But if you create an alias for the note in the note properties, you can also see unlinked mentions of that term as well. This lets you discover connections to your notes that you might not have been able to see otherwise. Tip number 12, move lines in your note using keyboard hotkeys. There are a lot of killer keyboard shortcuts that are baked into Obsidian that you may not know about, which is why I did a whole video on this a while back about hidden keyboard commands that can boost your productivity. 2 of those shortcuts are the ability to move the current line up or down inside your note using just the keyboard. Go to the hotkeys section of the settings and search for move line up or move line down respectively, and set the keyboard hotkey by clicking the plus button. Tip number 13, use a hyperkey for easy keyboard shortcuts. In the previous tip, you may have noticed that I like to use keyboard hotkeys to feature a combination of all 4 macOS modifiers: Shift, Option, Command, and Control. This combination requires some serious finger gymnastics when you use it, which means that I can virtually guarantee that if I use it in a custom shortcut, it's not going to conflict with anything else on my system. But I use another app called Hyperkey to remap my caps lock key so that it simulates pressing all 4 of these modifiers at the same time. So instead of Shift, Control, Option, Command, up arrow to move a line up, I can just hit caps lock up arrow instead. Tip number 14, link to individual notes with callback URLs. In addition to linking to notes inside of Obsidian with double brackets, you can also link to a specific note by clicking the 3 dots in the note title bar and selecting Copy Obsidian URL. This will create a link that uses the Obsidian / / URL scheme, which you can then paste into another app, and when clicked on will go straight to the active note, even if Obsidian isn't running when you click that link. Tip number 15, command click a link to open it in a new tab. When navigating your notes, you may want to open a link to another note without leaving your current note. The way to do this is to hold down the Command key on the Mac or the Control key on Windows when you're clicking on the link. That will open the link in a new tab inside of Obsidian while preserving the location in your current note, much like opening a new tab in your web browser. Tip number 16, stack your tabs. Back in the early days of Obsidian, there was a plugin called Andy's Mode that allowed you to have vertical tab stacks inside of Obsidian. This is now built into Obsidian by default and can be triggered by running the toggle stack tabs command, which displays the note title in a bar on the left of the tab and allows you to scroll horizontally through all of your open tabs. But don't worry, if this isn't for you, you can always switch it back by running the command again. Tip number 17, embed code blocks and callouts. I love callouts. I use them all the time for my opinion notes to highlight certain text in my notes, but you can also embed code blocks inside of callouts like I do in my daily notes template here. Just like any other callout, you just need to make sure that each line has a greater than character at the beginning. If you want to make it a collapsible callout, you can add either a plus if you want it to open by default, or a minus if you want it folded by default right after the callout name. Tip number 18, add dynamic bases to your sidebar. Obsidian Bases is a pretty incredible core plugin. One of the non-obvious ways to use it is to create a dynamic base that has an advanced filter, something like this, which is actually from Capano's demo vault, which shows which files have links to the active file. On its own, it looks kind of empty, but just like how you can put the local graph in your sidebar, you can also add bases views like this inside of your Obsidian UI as well. And the contents of the base will update to reflect the links to the currently active note, just like the local graph did. Tip number 19, minimize your community plugins. As a general rule, I recommend you try to use as few community plugins as possible. The more community plugins you use, the more steps you have to go through when you're troubleshooting, as plugins tend to be one of the primary sources of unexpected bugs in Obsidian, and they generally just slow down performance of your vault. Even if they don't slow down the app when you're using it significantly, they can take a while to load, and they can definitely impact performance on mobile devices. I tend to experiment with things often, but I don't keep things in my vault that I don't need for very long. Tip number 20, don't just import your old notes. There are tools out there for bringing things over to Obsidian from your previous notes app, but in general, I'm not a fan of this approach or these tools. People tend to switch to Obsidian because they feel overwhelmed by a pile of notes in their old note-taking app. They don't know where anything is, and then just importing everything simply recreates that same problem in a new location. So I recommend you get specific about how you're going to use Obsidian, what problem it's going to solve, and where it fits in your workflow. Then bring over only the things that you need, as this will help you start getting practical value from the app a whole lot sooner. All right, so there you have it, 20 quick quality of life workflow boosting Obsidian tips. The inspiration for this video, by the way, and the source of many of these tips was my free Obsidian starter vault. If you want more Obsidian tips, templates, and resources to help you get more out of your notes and ideas, definitely check this out. You can download it for free right now by going to vault.practicalpkm.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.